This is a free sample of the book.
Your Parents Were Wrong, Debunking and Replacing Outdated Advice
By Cairo Copeland. Available on Amazon, Audible, and reinventideal.com.
Chapter 3. School does not educate you. Parents say, go to school to get smart. Reality says, school exists only to employ stupid people. The American education system is a labyrinth of bureaucracy, outdated pedagogy, and misplaced priorities. From the moment we set foot in kindergarten to the day we toss our mortarboards into the air, we are led to believe that school is the gateway to success, the key to unlocking our full potential. But peel back the layers of rhetoric and propaganda, and what do we find? A system designed not for enlightenment and empowerment, but for the perpetuation of mediocrity and conformity. Let us begin with a simple truth. You are not sent to school to get an education or learn anything of value. You are sent there to be babysat, to while away the hours while your parents toil in the corporate America grinder. The evidence, as they say, is in the pudding. After 13 years of schooling, what employable skills do you possess? Can you balance a checkbook? Write a coherent business plan? Navigate the labyrinth of tax forms and legal documents that await you in the real world? Chances are the answer is a resounding no. And yet, despite this glaring deficiency, we are told that the solution lies not in reforming the system, but in subjugating ourselves to even more education in the hallowed halls of college. But let us not delude ourselves into thinking that college is any different from the prison of compulsory education. No, it is merely a continuation of the same soul-crushing routine, a glorified extension of high school masquerading as higher learning. Why does school need to take 6 to 8 hours a day? Why must we endure endless hours of mind-numbing lectures and rote memorization? The answer lies in the lowest common denominator. In America, we manage according to the slowest student, setting the pace to accommodate those who struggle to keep up. And so the rest of us are forced to march in lockstep, held back by the chains of mediocrity and apathy. Just as a chain is only as strong as its weakest link, a class in school is only as smart as its stupidest student. For the dumb kids will slow down the pace of the teaching, thereby limiting the learning of the more intelligent students imprisoned in their same class. But fear not, for there is a glimmer of hope on the horizon. The internet, yes, the great equalizer of our time, the harbinger of a new era of learning and enlightenment. With the click of a button, we have access to a wealth of knowledge and information that dwarfs anything the traditional education system has to offer. And yet, despite this technological revolution, teachers and schools continue to exist like relics of a bygone era, clinging desperately to relevance in a world that has long since passed them by. ChatGPT can teach me an employable skill like programming in a week, but school teachers, even with all the taxpayer money they piss away, cannot teach you a single employable skill in 12 years. The proof of that is the fact that they demand you go to college after graduation so you can learn employable skills. Not that you will learn them there. So why then do they persist? Why do we continue to subject ourselves to the agony and drudgery of compulsory education? The answer lies in the preservation of the status quo. Teachers and schools exist not to educate and empower, but to maintain the illusion of progress while perpetuating the same tired myths of meritocracy and upward mobility. They are the gatekeepers of the corporate America grinder, churning out obedient workers and compliant citizens to fuel the insatiable machine of American Keynesian economics. Schools exist only to create employment for teachers. It's needed for this reason because teachers are unskilled, untalented, bumbling morons, incapable of doing anything other than babysitting for a living. I learned this at a very early grade when I asked my first grade teacher, why couldn't we just print off more and more money? I mean, they print money, don't they? It's on paper. Well, really, it's on cotton. But still, they're printing it all the time. Why can't we just print off more money and just give it out to everyone so that all of us are rich? Now, being an adult, I know the answer now because I've looked up what happens with the Federal Reserve's M1, M2, and M3 money supply, how there has to be goods and services to match the dollars in circulation, how the true wealth of an economy is actually goods and services, not dollar bills in circulation. But my teacher in first grade didn't have a goddamn answer for that question and just said, well, it's because we just can't. That was all that she could say. That's how stupid teachers are. The governments wanted these fools that become teachers occupied to keep them off welfare, even though public schools are just another form of welfare for these idiots that become teachers. And corporate America wanted the children's parents back on the grind in the office. So the government and corporations reached a deal to give each other a reach around with this solution. Perhaps you think I'm making this up. Or maybe I'm just writing this to be edgy and ha-ha, very funny, Cairo. But if so, if you think that, you'd be sorely mistaken. The modern education system was created during the Industrial Revolution to condition children to be obedient and accept mediocrity in hopes of solving the labor problem, with its origins in Prussian nationalism and later standardized and controlled by the Carnegie Foundation. But let us not despair, for there is a way out of this Kafkaesque nightmare. It begins with a simple realization. You are not defined by your diploma, nor bound by the shackles of the education system. You are free to chart your own course, to seek knowledge and enlightenment wherever it may be found. The internet has made teachers and schools obsolete, rendering them relics of a bygone era. In other words, get out of high school as soon as you can. Skip grades and graduate early. You can get an early diploma online, then spend the extra time between early graduation and age 18 to figure out what you really want in life. If it's too late for you because school is long behind you, remember this for your own children, should you choose to have any. Do not force them to suffer the same 14-year sentence that you did.
Thank you for listening to this free sample of the book
Your Parents Were Wrong, Debunking and Replacing Outdated Advice
by Cairo Copeland. Available on Amazon, Audible, and reinventideal.com.